Hey, I'm Weekend Gabe, and you're checking out Weekend at Gabe's, and thanks for checking out this latest episode. While you're here, also follow us on these social medias at Weekend Gabe, at Weekend at Gabe's, and also at The Real Sam Crane. Thanks for checking us out. All right, we're going to reset. You're checking out Weekend at Gabe's at with Weekend Gabe and The Real Sam Crane here on Twitch TV. Give us a follow on these social medias at Weekend Gabe, at Weekend at Gabe's, and also subscribe to us on YouTube. We definitely need the love and the support because it takes us a lot further than where we currently are. But joining us next here on the show is Mr. Jay Washington, who I am a huge fan of. I absolutely love this man, even though I've never actually met him in person, but we have been like pen pals for a decade.
Real talk, we haven't?
I don't think we've ever met in real life. No.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's funny as hell.
Hey, like that's a hell of a way to start all this when you think about it. Like, yo, we've known each other, have had mutuals and acquaintances and associates for the longest, and have not met each other. That is crazy.
No. Well, you've called into my morning show a million times. I think we podcasted a couple of times, but we just never met. So I am happy to finally see you. So that's great.
Man, look, it's a pleasure's mine, man. Pleasure's mine.
We wanted to bring you on just to have a little bit of laugh and some fun, but you also are a media personality, a wrestler or former wrestler. I know you sometimes still put on the boots from time to time.
Putting on the boots this weekend in LA.
there's like
boots this weekend.
You are qualified to fill any job opening. That's all I know. Because you do.
I need to be qualified to get paid for all this. What's the most important thing? That's jobs is one thing, but I need my bank account to reflect all I do.
Exactly. You can't pay your bills with exposure. You know.
Man, listen. Like even when you get like you do a lot of these different jobs and you get paid something, and you're like, all right, it's better than nothing. But at the same time, you look at your bank account and was like, well, it feels like nothing. So you know, it's kind of a catch-22, if you will.
Beginning in comedy, I imagine it's a lot like wrestling. Like you're playing shows to a few people. The money's not great, but the opportunity is there to work on your craft and work on your skill. So does that still feel equally as important or more important than getting paid?
Nothing feels more important than getting paid. Before we go into any philosophy or feelings or thoughts or theories, nothing is more important. Hey man, I got 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? I got a child about to go to college and a 7-year-old.
Well, I was saying,
no, you're not. No, there's no way we're gonna try to say, does it feel better? No, absolutely not. You know, when you learn that you have a talent that can afford you to be paid for your talent, you can be compensated for what you're able to do because you do it well. Once you realize that and realize your value and your worth, you don't really want to go for less than that. It's difficult being in LA that is considered a showcase town where you're like, you're supposed to be around all these people, somebody can see you. You can see me and pay me at the same time, you cheap bastards. Like, that's the thing. So, because I do, you know, doing a lot of stand-up shows out here, you do the majority of them, you don't get paid. And if you do get paid, it's like, here's $15. And you like, bro, I took an Uber here that was more than $15. Like, you didn't even reimburse me for the Uber. You just hit me with this.
That LA Uber price, it'll really hit you in the knees, man.
Let me tell you something, man. Since they passed this whole Prop 22 thing where it was supposed to benefit the drivers out here, Uber and Lyfts have been ridiculous. Like I've been here, it'll be 6 years in November. And I haven't had a car in about 4 or 5 of those years. And I was good for a little bit. I was like, okay, Uber and Lyft weren't that bad. Now I'm about ready to get me a Prius and look like a housewife and call it a day. You don't get it, bro. Like, give me federal tax credits and some low mileage and a hybrid, and I'm okay.
It's well, I was more like, you know, just like sort of those opportunities before you were Mr. J Washington, and like just getting the opportunity to work and build the craft. And I know that those aren't opportunities where you get paid much or at all. So I was just trying to say, like, building that skill set, that's still important, right?
Oh, building a skill set for sure. You know what? Because there are a lot that I will definitely. I mean, in all seriousness, that is definitely important because you don't want to be given these opportunities where you can receive money too quick and your skill level can't match that money. Because then those opportunities don't come as frequent anymore. Now you're missing out completely. You know what I'm saying? So now you're like, oh man, somebody offered me $500 for a show and I gave them $5 worth of performance. So now they don't want to use me, and then word goes around, and you don't want that to happen too early. So yeah, you will definitely cut your teeth by, you know, putting in work, paying your dues, going to open mics and doing shows and showcases just for nothing, you know, all these different things. And again, yes, it's exactly like the wrestling business. When I started, you know, you were as a rookie, you know, you doing ring crew, you bring in the ring, you helping to set the ring up, set the chairs up, set the show up, everything, then go do your match and then taking everything down, putting it in the ring truck, helping to unload it there. And then, you know, even as you get older and you progress in years, depending on the company, you might come in, like if I go to a company and I'm there hour and a half and they still trying to get the ring up, you know, I can lend a hand. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna hurt me to say, all right, let me grab this, let me help you out there, because it's all for the benefit. But you cut your teeth a lot throughout anything before you're officially getting paid and compensated for things.
Yeah. What is the difference between the LA and the Chicago crowd when you're performing stand-up? Is there
terrible?
Which one?
LA, man. These crowds out here, you know, you have to go to the cities outside of what's considered the industry. So like Los Angeles as a whole, there's so many different parts. I live in the Valley, so but there are parts of the Valley where it's still
shout out the Valley. My boys out in the Valley too. So.
You know what I'm saying? There's parts out here where it's parts where it can be pompous and bougie, but then there's parts where it's real. So you got to find the real parts. And then you also one of the biggest issues when you do shows like in the Hollywood area and a lot of the clubs in Hollywood is people look at you like, who are you? How should I know you? What have you done? As opposed to what your talent is. Whereas back home, they don't care what you've done. You get a quick five minutes out of, okay, you the dude from TV or you the dude from movies or whatever. Now you need to be funny. And that's what I always love about coming back home to perform, like, because you're gonna know if you gonna get a reminder if you funny or not. Because you can be out here and you can do a show and you're like, I'm funny. What are they? What's wrong with them? Why are they not receiving this? You're like, right. yo, should I just go back home? Because I think I know that Mariano's is hiring. Like, I'll work in the deli real quick. Gonna get this young lunch meat for, you know. But then you go back to
oh no,
at home, or you go back someplace, man, you're just like, okay, I wasn't wrong, thank God. Like, you know, you have to have a reminder of things like that.
Right. Is there a comedy spot out in LA that's your favorite that like is a good spot, or no, you haven't found the sweet spot yet?
Man, I've been here, like I said, almost 6 years, and I don't know if I found a spot where I'm just like, I think the only spot, this is gonna be weird. The only spot I think, boy, this is gonna be a weird response because they're gonna be like, "Yep, he's a thought." Yep. The only place I think I found was this one. It's a karaoke bar that does stand up, and the only reason I liked it was because I didn't got laid twice of going to that spot and doing shows. So that, I mean, again, like that became the sweet. I was like, when I perform here, I get laid. It was like I felt like Macaulay Culkin at Home Alone. I made my family disappear. Like I came here and vagina appeared. Like it went home. And you know, so I mean, aside the bar, because I try to, you know, like again, things are slowly but surely opening back up out here. Everything's supposed to be open on the 15th, which is going to be really weird. Because like some stuff is open now, and it's so crazy because you miss, as a stand-up, you miss crowds, you miss being around people, you miss going to do shows in different places. And then the panorama happened, and now you're sitting around and you're sitting around and you're looking, you're like, okay, I got to do some Zoom shows, or there's shows where people are socially distanced or whatever. But then you go to some spots and people just don't care, and you be like, hey man, don't you breathe around me, like. And that's from a dude who's vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, man, don't you breathe around me.
That's hilarious.
Nah, for real, man. Do you think it takes some of the energy away from the show when like people are socially distanced? Like,
I think it depends on where. I think it depends on how they're socially distanced. And I say that because when you have like certain shows where the crowd is still close, but spread out, it's like you can kind of make some things happen. You kind of make some things, but if it's like they spaced out and it's everybody just like it's 10 people over here and 10 people way over there and it's 10 people back there, it's like, yo, we could have just had a TED talk and called this a day. Like, there's no need for this. Like,
I wanted to get into some of the work that you're doing. You're working with the Blerds in the Hood podcast, and you guys are always talking about pop culture and news and media and stuff like that. What about this coming year of movies and TV? Loki just came on Disney
Gabe
Plus.
stole my question, but that's cool.
Sorry. Hey, it's a team effort. But did you had a chance to check it out? What are your thoughts?
man, first off, Blerds has been a blessing. Let's just be. So we had Blerds earlier from this. So here's the thing real quick. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. I didn't think I made the show so we do this thing on Blerds where for every $100 donation we get, we take a shot. Well, $100 donations, we hit a $100 benchmark and it was rolling in. And so there was like 4 Jameson shots back to back to back. And so the show went on. And if you watch it, you can watch the replay on YouTube. You'll see me just all of a sudden, I'm feeling myself. Man, the show ended. I was like, okay, I need a nap. I woke up. Luckily, I saw the tweet about the show. I was like, oh, God, did I miss it? And I say that because the fans that we have built, the neighborhood, they've been very supportive of the show. They've helped the show grow over a year, and it's been amazing. And so to be able to cover all the things we talk about now with Loki, dog, for me, who, again, the background shows enough that I'm nerdy enough that I already do that on my Mad Titan podcast, which is something separate in itself. I'm excited for it, man. I got to see the first 2 episodes. So I was kind of upset because I did a review. So they gave all the critics and everything the first 2 episodes of Loki. Yeah. So every critic, every outlet you see's reviews are about episodes 1 and 2. Only episode 1 dropped. I was like, well, this ain't on me. This ain't on me. Like, I spoiled episode 2 for y'all. This ain't on me. Like, they did.
That's going to get
Yeah, that's a pro tip because I was definitely going to read some reviews. Haven't watched the episode last night, but not anymore. I'm going to steer clear, man, you know.
It's good because what it does, what I love about Loki, and I said this on Blerds, and I said this on a couple of things, and I'll say it again, it takes whatever thoughts you might have you think the show is going to be and makes you throw it away real quick.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's definitely sort of a subversion in general. But what interested in me about it, because we've done like 2 of these series now, these Marvel TV shows. Mm-hmm. What interested me about it was how quickly it grabbed me. Like with WandaVision, with Captain America and the Winter Soldier, I was like, the first 4 episodes, I was like, man, I don't even care, you know? And then episode 6, 7 runs around and I'm like, okay, I'm in. All right, this is 100%. I get it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And with this one, it was like, as soon as I saw Owen Wilson, I was like, oh, I want to hate this. And I didn't hate it. You know, like it was.
When I watched the trailer of it, for me, I watched the trailer. I was already into it again as a big Marvel fan, as a, again, a big comic nerd, whatever. I gotta put like this. I have an Infinity Gauntlet on my dresser over there. That's to let you know. The Infinity Gauntlet from Infinity War and Endgame. It's on my dresser over. It's one of my bookshelves. Excuse me, not dresser, bookshelf. And so I'm a fan of it. So I've always enjoyed what newity they brought with it. And so to see this continues a part of a story that goes into a bigger story, I'm like, all right, let me see what it is. Owen Wilson, I'm like, all right, I kind of know what I'm getting out of it. And then Tom Hiddleston, he just ups the love of Loki because he's falling back in love with the character. So I'm like, man, I'm here for all of this. And so as always, I will be watching every single episode every week, hopefully getting it early because I want to be better than you people.
Fair enough. What are you looking forward to this summer? There's quite a few number of releases that are scheduled. Black Widow was due up next month in a few weeks on July 9th. What are your just to sort of stay on the Marvel tip for a bit? Well, I know that movie's been pushed back quite a few times because of the pandemic, but are we really excited to see a Black Widow solo film?
So I'll admit, when they first announced it, I was one of those vocal proponents who were like, yo, this This is like 10 years too late.
Right.
Like, we don't need this right now. And then I started thinking, like, there's a reason they're pushing this. There's a reason they like, yo, you gonna need this Black Widow movie. And then you start hearing about Florence Pugh being cast as Yelena Belova, and you're like, okay, they might be bringing her forward as the Black Widow, and then all these other things. Then the parallelogram happens, and so everything is pushed back. And so you're like, oh, okay, so they keep pushing it back. And then you got to a point where it shifted the entire MCU release timeline. So some people like just dropped the movie, and I'm like, Marvel has a reason they're doing this. And I'm like, I trust Marvel Studios because of what they've given us over the past 10, 11 years. Right. Now I'm like, I want to see this. I'm so excited for it. And I literally had to re-up my connect with the Marvel press screening dude. I was like, hey man, how you doing? I hope you've been blessed. I ain't seen you in a while. I just want to tell you, I miss you, and I miss us in these screenings. Like, I sent him dead as an email. It was emotional. Like, man, look, you know what? It's been rough. We all get through this panini together. I'm here for you.
Were you successful? Because I need to use that for anytime I'm asking requests. Like, I hope you stay this on this Tuesday afternoon.
Let me tell you something. I sent that email, and then I realized I looked up, and we're friends on Facebook too. And I saw he was going on vacation for a second. I was like, before you go on vacation, can you reply to my email? That's all. You can go enjoy your life. You can go, you know what I'm saying? You can say, look, this pepperoni is over. I can go surfing on the beaches, sitting in the sun, whatever you want to do. But just respond and say, Jay, I got you. That's all I need. But that I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see Ludacris and Tyrese fly a car into space. Just because, again, where else can
I don't know. Where else can
Fast and Furious franchise? Like everybody, there are a lot of people who've been saying this, and I'm kind of, you know what? I hear it much, and I'm kind of getting on board with it. I want to see a Fast and Furious Jurassic World crossover. I need to see Dom Toretto ride a dinosaur. You know what I'm saying? Like, strap a rocket to a velociraptor and see what happens. I want to see. Like, man.
I love it. I'm here for that. I would go broke seeing that movie over and over again. 2 more for Jurassic Fast, please.
One officially fully in. I just want one fully in space, and then one riding dinosaurs, and that's all I need. You know what I'm saying? You can end it. You can kill everybody. You can have a meteor hit the Earth in the movie. I don't give a damn. I just want to see them ride a dinosaur or something.
Yo, so real quick, switching gears. We were on the Marvel thing, but let's go to DC. We talked a little bit about this on the show a couple months back. The Snyder Cut.
Don't do this. Don't do this. I'm
coming
telling
out.
you now. Don't do this.
How did you feel?
Let me go and get comfortable and settle in this chair real quick. You ask this question. You really want? Well, here's the thing. I have been a vocal proponent against it because I was like, yo, this movie, them doing the Snyder Cut for HBO Max is nothing but a ploy to get subscribers. That was all this is for. This wasn't because we listened to the fans. They didn't give a shit about the fans. They just wanted to get subscribers, right? Then it dropped, and of course, I watched it because I was like, you know, it's my civic duty to watch this. And then I watched it, and I was like, bro, why is this so long when it doesn't need to be this long? Like, there was a good 3-hour movie in that, but Zack Snyder's ego was like, no, you need Icelandic chicks singing for no reason. You're like, what? I don't need them sniffing Aquaman sweater. This is weird. You got Barry rubbing Iris's face in slow motion, and everybody's like, that's beautiful. No, it's creepy. Either save her or let her die. Like, it was things that just didn't need to happen. And so, again, like I said, I felt like there was a solid 3-hour movie in it, but Zack Snyder's ego wouldn't allow it to be. Right. Now, that movie didn't move the needle for HBO subscribers at all, which is why they were like, well, this is done, because everybody keep being like, man, they got so many streams and everybody watched it. I kept telling everybody, HBO Max, nor does Warner Media or AT&T, they do not care about your stream numbers. They don't care. They wanted to subscribe. This is all to get subscribers because of when they announced it, because they announced it during their DC Fandom, and they announced it almost a week or so. Well, no, they announced it earlier. I'm sorry. They announced it before HBO Max is supposed to release a week before. And it was like, we ain't got enough pre-subscribers. So you're getting the Snyder cut in a year. But you're getting it in a year. It's like, that don't make no sense. And so, but again, it didn't jump their subscription numbers up. So because it not jumping the subscription numbers up, it's like, it's pointless. And again, everybody's like, oh no, we need to see his vision. That man's vision can stay in his eyeballs. And I don't care. I don't.
What about the future of DC? Because now obviously we're getting another Suicide Squad film later this fall or later this summer, and then the Batman is due out hopefully early next 2022. Which I watched the trailer again for that, and that looks amazing.
All right, here's my deal with the Batman. Just like with Spider-Man, yes, I get it. We can see Uncle Ben die a million times. Just like with Batman, we can see his mom and his daddy die a million times. I get it. I know why you sad, dude. Like, I get it. You sad. Somebody killed your parents, bro. Come on the south side of Chicago. A lot of kids' parents die and ain't got money to do this. Stay at home. And so, bruh, like the Batman, I'm just like, all right, I get it. It's a $10 million character. Will continually make money. If Robert Pattinson can do it justice, then so be it. The Suicide Squad, they put it in the hands of a director I trust and believe in James Gunn, because the first Suicide Squad, Will Smith was trying his hardest to save this movie. He was on the guard with guns shooting zombies. It was like, please keep seeing this movie. And everybody was like, no. Because then you had Cara Delevingne moving her hips for some weird reason. You're like, man, go get a hula hoop. Like, sit down. And then, like, it is so much wrong with the first Suicide Squad, but I'm excited for the sequel. The trailer for the Suicide Squad, I was already excited. And then the trailer dropped, and I was like, we are getting Starro. We are getting a giant alien starfish. You can't tell me nothing. I'm good. Because again, James Gunn is the man who made us love a talking raccoon and a talking tree. Yep. Think about nobody. The average comic fan didn't even know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were, unless you watched the Spider-Man cartoon, the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. You didn't know who the Guardians were. James Gunn was like, "No, you're gonna love this raccoon in this tree." And you're like, "Man, you get your dumb ass." And then you watched it. You was like, "Man, I love this raccoon in this tree," because that's how it was. And so, being able to know when he can do that, when you get a bunch of another group of obscure characters to put together and be wild like the Suicide Squad, it's in good hands.
Right. Right.
As opposed to Zack Snyder, whose vision can stay in his eyeballs.
Zack Snyder spent all that time. Let me tell you something. So God is with me a lot. I love the Lord because he blessed me with somebody else's HBO Max login. And there is Zack Snyder's Justice League on there, and then right next to it is Justice League. Justice is Great, bruh. Why is there two versions of the same damn movie? It's unnecessary.
I don't know anyone who's watched the alternative version all the way through. It seems moot. I don't understand, but
it's pointless. That's so much ego. And I was like, yo, you spent all this time, bro. You need to be worried about this zombie film, this Army of the Dead you're working on at the time. I'm like, can you finish Army of the Dead? And then I saw Army of the Dead, and I was like, okay, I love Dawn of the Dead. I will admit that. I openly love Dawn of the Dead because more than anything else, not just as a zombie movie, you destroyed Milwaukee.
Wow.
Like, you took out Milwaukee, like, as a Chicagoan.
Wow.
We love
it. You love it. But then I watched Dawn of the Dead. I was like, okay, there's some of the stuff I love. But now you're making all these ultra smart zombies. I hate that they're doing that in these zombie films. Like, I need my zombies to be dumb, just want to eat and kill. I don't need my zombie going, no. Nobody want no zombies to see zombies making plans and having a day trip and everything. No,
kidnapping folks. Yeah,
keep pointing out directions. And I was like, man, again, another film that was unnecessarily too long to feed your ego. The Army of the Dead is a good movie, but it doesn't need to be as long as it is.
Yeah. No,
And that's my issue. Like, we're allowing directors, and we've become to this point where we're like, yo, every movie has to be at least 2 hours. No, it doesn't.
Yeah. That's true. But I did enjoy Army of the Dead. I thought it was like
like I said, I enjoyed it. It's just too long.
I agree. We had to watch that in 2 parts. It was like the Snyder cut. It was too long.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Before we let you go, Jay, are you? What's the plan to return to the stage here in the city? Are you going to be visiting back this summer? Try to do some dates at the Laugh Factory.
Of course, I definitely be coming back to do some shows at the Laugh Factory. I'll probably be at Zany's, different independent shows throughout the city. As of right now, I'm trying. If I come back home, I'm trying to debate if I come home and do some shows or if I come home and don't tell nobody and just take a break. And I say that as somebody who is burnt out from work. Like, it's nonstop. Like, after I do this, I have to film some stuff that I have to get into a producer today, and then I got a busy day tomorrow. And I just say that it's great to be busy. It's a blessing. There are many people who wish they were in the position in which I'm in. But I'm tired, okay? So if I do come home to do shows, it'll probably be in August or whatnot, around my birthday. I have not been back home for the summertime shot officially. Like, I came back during the whole perpendicular. I was back in Chicago back and forth, but it was like there was nothing to do. Like, everything was shut down. The only thing there was in June and July was riots, and I was like, this is not what I'm here for.
You're seriously Donald Glover walking into the room and everything's on fire. Like, hey, I'm here, and then it's like,
let me tell you something. I remember the first riot, when the riots started happening, when they first happened in Chicago. I didn't know they were happening until after I got off the plane at Midway. I got off the plane, looked at the TV, and was like, how quick can my return trip happen? Because I didn't come here for this. It was crazy because my homies whose house I was staying at is in Humboldt Park. They were looting on Division right down the street. I said, oh, no, Jesus. This is not this. I could have stayed in L.A. for this drama. And like, I was like, yo, I paid $75 round trip, which, by the way, that's the only reason I wanted the pandemic to stay and everything.
It's so cheap.
No, I was flying back and forth home for $75 round trip. Like, you couldn't beat it. Beat it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I hope that when you return, that the world and the city isn't on fire. But we look forward to you return to the stage. I'd love to catch you when you're back in town. So please,
I'll definitely let you know when I'm back in town and everything, and when all that goes down again. I always make it a thing to try to post all the shows I have when I'm back home. So yeah.
All right, sounds good. Tell people where they can find you. I know you're on all socials at Mr. J Washington, but when can they catch you on these internets?
All right, well, yeah, you can catch me, like you said, Mr. J Washington everywhere. Blerd's in the Hood every Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. on the East Coast. YouTube.com/Blerd's in the Hood and Twitch.tv/Blerd's in the Hood. The Mad Titan podcast, every week, get your podcast from. I get you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes. It is Barbershop Talk for Nerds. And yeah, there's so much other stuff. Just follow me. You'll find it.
So if you missed any of this interview, the highlights are pay Mr. J Washington, and then also Zack Snyder has too many long films. If you walk away from anything from tonight,
man, you can put those in highlights. You can put
if you give me 1 second,
clips in the headline.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate your time so much.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right, Jay Washington here on Weekend at Games. That's going to be our show tonight on this Thursday night, excuse me.
Thursday, baby. Hey, it was pretty good, huh? Thursdays.
Today was a great show. I had so much fun.
Bad.
This week all our guests were A1. Everything we booked this week was phenomenal. I'm so happy the way this week ended up. Please go check out us on YouTube if you missed any of the shows. We'll post all the interviews up tomorrow morning and the afternoon, so you guys can check those out. But we just had some great conversations, great laughs. I always love booking guests, and Jay is just so fun and to be around. And follow him on his social medias. Most of his pictures are him working out in the gym all the time, so it's motivating, but also like I'm just so intimidated by how huge of a man he is, and I'm like, I'll never get to that point, so I'm not gonna try. But yeah, we just had a great show, and then so Tuesday night at 8:00, we're gonna jump back here. Jay Barrow, who is a hip hop historian, writer. He's been like the Source, Vibe. He's written about Pac, Biggie, everyone and anyone. He does a podcast about fathers, hip hop artists or hip hop or folks in hip hop, about being the father and the fatherhood. So we're going to talk about that on the eve of Father's Day next weekend. And then we're also going to be joined by DJ RTC, Alex Frutor from Closed Sessions. He's going to be joining us. His daughter is going to be 1 soon, so he's going through fatherhood, but also his studio's behind all the Mother Nature stuff, Boathouse, every and anyone who's probably put out any quality record in the city of Chicago. Him and his team are behind those records. So we're going to be joining. They're going to be joining us then, and we're also trying to plan something for next Thursday that's also going to be equally fun before we go on vacation for a week. So please check us out here Tuesday night next week on Weekend at Gabe's and on these social medias at Weekend at Gabe's and Weekend at Gabe's and the Real Sam Crane. We got it? All right,
we got it. We done did it.
Best. All right, Sam, enjoy the rest of your evening. I will talk to you soon, and then everyone else also, I'll talk to you soon as well. All right, we're out.
Yeah, peace.
Hey, I'm Weekend Gabe. Thanks for checking out this latest episode of Weekend at Gabe's. Click on any of the links swirling around my head and also hit the subscribe button while you're here. Thanks for checking out us here on YouTube.